Something else I want to talk to you about, Ashley. Boxers, you know. I was reporting Manny last week.
Okay.
We were talking the same thing about him as well, and Spencer Fearon, about when boxers say they retire, do they actually retire? The reason I asked this question, Manny Pacquiao, who is one of the greatest of our times in boxing, of recent times, multiple division champion, made hundreds of millions. And he's decided to come back after retiring a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. And his reason cited, and he clearly said, I'm coming back because financially I need the money. And everyone questions, well, if you need the money, you've got the wrong people around you.
Yes.
He made a huge fortune from Floyd's fight, and he's come out to fight Vardy. HBO weren't happy with that fight, they're not televising that fight. What do you make of boxers, and particularly Pacquiao now back in November?
Well, I'll say this, for the Manny situation, I think he made around 200 mil from fighting Floyd. If you still need money after that fight, something's wrong, be it if it's your promoter who's Bob Arum and then he has his advisor. Like, what's going on? Because Floyd seems to be having fun in his retirement. Whenever I see him, he says he's happy. This is where we work so hard. You give so much to boxing. Some of us get paid a lot and some don't. But the ones who do make the millions, it's sad when they make bad investments or they got a bad team around them. And if Manny says that he needs money when he's had so many big fights, there's problems there. But with guys like with Paulie, he's doing the TV thing now. I love when I see boxers have a life after boxing, because a lot of what we only know is just boxing. A lot of us have never had a job. So it's hard for life after boxing. So it's nice to see that Paulie has got his gig where he's basically going all over the world now, doing his TV gig, which is great. He doesn't need boxing. He might come back for the odd big fight or the odd fight, but he don't need boxing now. Spencer Fearon's another one. He's doing great. So he didn't do as good as he could have in boxing, but because he's been the history of boxing, he knows it so well, it's helped him to get a job at Sky, which is great. So I think those two guys, and I like that PBC are using a lot of boxers, current boxers, to talk on the boxing fights, because at the end of the day, who knows boxing more than us? We've done it for so long, we've been in the ring. It's all good you having these professional guys who know how to speak to the camera, but they've never got punched in the face. They've never been in there, they don't know and how it is to be in a camp for 8 weeks if your family and friends are not around you and you're having to lose weight. So I think boxers add a lot. It's nice to see more boxers that are on the PBC getting the opportunities, because a lot of them speak well. Because even on Sky now, there's been more boxers that are on there, and a few of them talk sense, which is nice to hear. It's always nice to hear a boxer talk sense.
Do you think that should go the same for the judges as well?
What?
In terms of boxers, ex-boxers should become judges, referees?
But at the same time, maybe there isn't a lot of boxers who want to be judges or refs, but it would help, because sometimes there's some terrible decisions. We saw it in the Olympics, we're a joke, but we don't know if that's just corruption. But it's always a shame when you see a bad decision, when the fans know, everyone knows except for the 3 judges, that you've just done a bad decision. So something's obviously wrong there. What are you looking for? If the fans and the other boxers are seeing one guy win, but then the 3 judges are seeing another guy win, Like, what don't we know? Like, what is there that you are looking for that we are not? So it's always a shame because boxers give a lot. You know, training camp, you know, you train for months for one night. You train for months for one night. You sacrifice a lot for one night. And then at the end of the night to be robbed by a judge or by a ref, you know, is terrible. Because sometimes like, that win could be life-changing. And, you know, they mess that up.
So obviously with Pacquiao back, there's been a few releases of videos of Floyd training, and I know Floyd generally likes to keep himself in good nick and always in the gym and swimming. Do you think that fight might just entice Floyd again next year?
Well,
you know Floyd well.
No, but with Floyd, he's always said the only way that he would come back is for 9 figures. So that's $100 million fight. And at the end of the day, this Conor McGregor, that would be a 100 million plus, and the same with Manny. So those are, if Floyd was to come back, it has to be for someone that could generate like so much money with him. Me, I would love to see Floyd come back for one more win, because at the end of the day, I've got to see 6 or more of his camps, like from start to finish. And it's just great to see a man work so hard, and you see why he's the best. So you know, it's just great, you know what I'm saying, to be a part of it and to see for 8 weeks, for 9 weeks, the work he puts in, and you know, to be around him on the day-to-day thing. To me, he is the greatest of our time, and that's why, look, he's been retired for over a year now. They're still talking about him. They're still talking about him coming back. You know, I don't like to say haters, but he used to get, and he still does get, so much hate. But he gets so much hate, but everyone is always asking when he's coming back. So, if you're boring, why would you want the man to come back? You know, so it's obviously boxing is missing a star. You know, boxing is missing a star. Like Manny, I'm very sure with his next fight, he's gonna be talking, like he's gonna have Floyd's like name in his mouth for every other fight. Like for every other word, he's gonna be saying Floyd this and Floyd that to help promote the fight. So like Manny wants to rematch with Floyd. And yeah, we just have to see, man. You know, only time will tell.
And hopefully next time we speak to you back in the UK, you could be a world champion.
Yeah, well, I would love that, man. I would love that. Like that is the goal. At the end of the day, when you turn pro, that is the goal. And at the end of the day, against odds, I've got this far. I didn't have no promoter for 10 years. I still went on to become world number 4, like when I beat Delvin, and then I came back to the UK. I was British champ. Then I went back to America, and then I signed with Floyd, and I've been on like 3 of Floyd's cards. Like, you know, like at the end of the day, you can't hate me for what I've had to do, because I've done it against the odds. I didn't have no promo. It's unheard of to turn pro at your call, and then to go on and fight at the MGM like 3 times, to be signed by Floyd, you know, to go on and fight like for the world title. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Support a brother trying to be as good as he could be. Support me.